Hello everyone, welcome to this bag making tutorial. So today I am attempting to make a bag from this base that I have already purchased. So it has got a base like this with holes there on the sides, and also it has got an handle with there are holes. So basically what we need to do is we need to make some kind of a attachment to join both these parts. It can be crochet, it can be knitting or anything, but today I am going to be making a crochet part for that. The yarn that I am going to be using is this variegated yarn. It is size 4 yarn, and the hook needed for this is 5.5 mm crochet hook. So I can use a bigger size hook, or I can even use a smaller size hook depending on how tight I want the stitches. So let's begin making this. So this is my first time too, so there will be a lot of doubts, and also I may sometimes have to make something and pull it out, frog it, and then also make again. So please bear with me. To begin, I am going to see, I have to use this 5.5 mm hook for this yarn, but I can't use that to begin because the holes here are smaller. So only for the first line of stitches where I'm going to be joining, there I'm going to be using a smaller hook, and this is 3.5 mm hook. This is just to facilitate the yarn. So before starting this, I've already made a sample of the stitch that I am going to be making. This is called moss stitch, and I'm going to be doing the moss stitch in the round. So I just made a sample to check out how to do it in the round and how the color work is. So I think the colors will work good for this one. Let's begin now. To begin, I have made a slip knot on my yarn. Okay, make a slip knot and then insert your hook in one of the holes. So I'm starting from the center because I feel it comfortable to do it. It's usually better to start in one of the corners, but I'm starting in the center of the bag. So I just made a stitch here, which is just a joining stitch. It is not a single crochet stitch. So my idea here is to make single crochet stitches inside the holes to start with, and in each of the holes I am going to be making 3 single crochets. So this is one, initially it is a little difficult to work like this, so that's why it's taking some time. This is the second single crochet. Now I'm finding it hard to manage the this fall leather piece and also the hook and the yarn in this position, so it will be a little muscle power. You need a little muscle power here to go through this first row at least. Okay, make your single crochets nice and tall and 3 single crochet in one hole. Okay, here I've made 3, so let me point out the 3. 1, 2, 3. And make I'm going to be making more 3 single crochets in each of the hole. So at the same time I'm just grabbing on to my tail thread also, so that I don't have the problem of weaving in again at the end. This is the second single crochet, and this is the third. So this is how it looks. So make sure that all the single crochets are in even length, and we will proceed like this. We'll continue like this, making 3 single crochets in each spot or in each hole, and it gets a little easier as you keep working, but make sure that you lengthen your single crochet stitches to accommodate for the length in the bag. Okay, and see, this is how it looks. And I have made, my progress is so much now, I've made 3 single crochets in each, and I've almost done 3/4 part of it. And now after making this, I realized that maybe 3 single crochets in each hole are a little too much, and the base will be smaller and the bag might be bigger. So I just attempted and saw if 2 single crochets in each hole would be nice. See, this is where I made 2 single crochets, and I think it looks better, because this might be the correct fit for this bag. And you see it's sitting nice and flat like this, whereas you see in this other part it looks wobbly. So my assumption is that it will be more number of stitches for this size bag. So what I'll have to do now is I'll have to take it out. I should have actually tried this earlier, but I failed to think straight properly. And now what happens is I find that it is too many stitches and I have to remove them and work again. So I can't continue like this, so I'll have to remove all of them. So I've now removed it and I'm starting again, but this time I'm starting from one of the sides, because see, in the beginning I started in the middle, but now I'm starting in the side, because now I find making the single crochets in this because I'm a little used to it now after making for 3/4 of the length. So it's easy for me to start from here. So I'm starting again making 2 single crochets in each of the holes. So the first stitch is not a single crochet, it is just a stitch for attaching the yarn. So this is the first single crochet. So it will appear like 3 to you, but it's actually just 2. So 1 single crochet and another one in the same hole. So the process is the same like we did earlier for 3. Now we are going to do only 2 in each. Like I forgot to tell you, there are 20 holes on each side. See these, sorry, before that, these are the 2 single crochet stitches I have made, and this first one is not, that line, that one line of thread that you see is just for the joining. There are only 2 single crochets here. And before I forget, I want to tell you there are 20 holes on each side of this bag, so it will make 40. And if I make 2 single crochets in each, so that is 40 times 2 will be 80. So I will have a total number of 80 stitches to work with, to work my design. So if your design needs an odd number, then maybe somewhere you will have to add one extra stitch somewhere. You can adjust that easily, that's not going to be difficult. So if it's even number, this will be fine. I've completed everywhere. I've added 2 single crochets all over and I've completed it, and now I have to join. And after joining, my next step will be to start with the pattern. So join with the first single crochet with a slip stitch. I have made the join with the slip stitch. Now I have to begin my pattern stitch. The pattern stitch I told you is called the moss stitch. So for the moss stitch, it is first 1 single crochet, one chain, I have made 1 single crochet. Now 1 chain, and skip 1 and single crochet into the next stitch. Again So yeah, I forgot. See, I have to use my bigger hook here, and I'm continuing with the smaller hook, which is not ideal. But now, for now, I feel it is comfortable. I think this will make a good, nice, dense stitch. So I'm continuing. Let's see how it works. So yeah, I made 1 chain there and 1 single crochet. So it's 1 chain, 1 single crochet after skipping 1 stitch in the previous row. Okay, there are a lot of videos for moss stitch on the internet. You could even look up there. Okay, so after making a few stitches, I can see that because I'm using a smaller hook, my stitches are too tight, and I think it's going to be very tight and my stitches will not be good. So I'm going to shift back to my 5.5 mm hook, which is the hook needed for this yarn that I'm using. Since I've already made this, I can't continue also. I will have to again start over again. I have made one line of the moss stitch, that is one single crochet, one chain, skip one stitch and one chain, again one single crochet, chain one, skip one stitch and single crochet. So this is the progress of the moss stitch after 4 or 5 rows. This is how it looks. And after making about 10 rows of the moss stitch, I changed the color to a solid color. I have a little bit of a design idea in my mind right now, so I'm going to change, and I'm going to be using a solid color for a few rows. This is the progress so far with the about 10 rows of moss stitch and about 2 rows of the moss stitch again in solid color. And this is the progress after a few more rows, and now I decided to add a row of flowers in between. So after making a solid moss stitch in solid color, I also did a row of flowers. See, flowers are there on both the sides. I thought it will add a nice design element to my bag, and I thought yellow would be a great option. So I've done this and continued again with moss stitch. Now when I think the length is the size that I want, now what I have to do is I will have to attach the handle. So there are two ways of attaching this handle. See, one, I can place it inside, like this, and I can use the holes which are there on the top and stitch this with using a needle and thread. I can stitch the piece in place. Okay, I mean just a running stitch once or twice. If you run through it, but you see the bottom design is different where I attached it, and on the top it is just flat and blank. So I'll have to think of something else. And also, if you notice, see, my bag is not stretching very well. There is a little bit of a nice curve there, and I think with the proper blocking it might be okay, but I'm not very sure. So right now my only problem is how to fix this handle to this, because I've not done it before and I have to find a suitable way to do it. So back to thinking of how to attach it. See, I could even do it in another way also. I could put my crochet piece inside and I could attach it with sewing thread, with a needle and yarn in that way. Or I can put the bag inside like this and I can stitch it also. So this I will have to do hand sewing. I cannot do crochet on this. So that is one of the way, but still this is not what I think works for me, because I want the same design that I have at the bottom. I want the same one at the top also. So I'm just thinking of what are the ways to do it, and then I understood, and then I came up with this idea that I can make the same kind of single crochet stitches from these holes also. Two single crochet stitches in each hole, like how I did for the base. And I made the single crochet stitches thinking I'll attach it later with crochet or with needle, with the needle and yarn. Then as I was making this, then I also thought, why not try to attach the single crochets to the crocheted piece already. So see here, in these last few like a couple of stitches, I started attaching it as I was making the single crochets. You can see here I have attached it here, but as you can see, in the places where I have attached, there is a kind of a pull there, and this is the only place where the top part of the bag is attached to the bottom part. And you see, when I put on some weight, I think it will pull like this, and it may not be very sturdy. So I'm going to give up this idea of attaching it together as I make the single crochets. So let me see what are the other ways to join both these pieces together. But I am satisfied with the idea of making the single crochets and then attaching it. My only problem now is to think how to attach these together so it will look pretty. So this is not working. See, you see, there is so much of gap here, and I think it will not be strong or sturdy enough at all, because you see it will pull like this as we put some weight or something in the bag. Now I'll again have to think about how to attach these two pieces together. I think I know how I'm going to do that. So what I first attempted was to attach both these pieces together, just like how I wanted it, just how it is on the base. So what I did was, I thought I can do it with a needle and yarn. So I put my yarn into a needle, and I started making started to attach both these two pieces together, like joining both of them together. So this is how it looks when I join it with a needle and thread. But see here, this other part here that I have made is a slip stitch join. So this slip stitch join is a very common method in crochet, where we use to join two pieces of crochet together. It's usually used while joining granny squares and such. So I use that same slip stitch method here, and I like the neatness of this stitch. See, this is how it goes. A slip stitch is nothing but we have to take the back loop of one of the chains, that one of the stitches. See, I'm taking see, the yarn that the yarn that I'm using to work will be in the middle, like that, and you will take the back loop of one of the stitches from the piece on the right side, and again the back loop of one of the stitches, the corresponding stitches on the handle side, and then I will make a slip stitch. So we take the working thread and make a slip stitch, that is, bring it out of all the loops. Okay, so I'll make a few more slip stitches to show you how it goes. Pick up one, that is the back loop of both the sides of the pieces, and at all the time, you see, the working thread should be in the middle and under your stitch, and pull through all the three loops. That makes it a slip stitch. Yeah, it is a little bit tricky to handle all these two parts together, but the effect is so pretty. So I think we will have to go through it a little bit slowly, but then even the join will look so nice and neat and even, that you'll be really happy with the result of what we are doing now. You see how neat it looks. It almost looks like it has been joined without any, the piece has been crocheted continuously. It doesn't look like there is a join there. And even if you see that there is a join, the join is very neat and nice. So this is what I will continue. Here once again I am trying to show you how the slip stitch joining works. It's easy, but it will go a little slow, because you're trying to grab onto so many different loops. See how neat it looks here. I like this but whereas see, when I started with the needle it wasn't good, but since I've already started with the needle and then continued with the crochet slip stitches, now I'll have to remove everything and start over again because I can't leave one part like this. So I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to start making the slip stitches from the beginning. So now I've completed all of the slip stitches on all the sides. So you see, this is how it looks, quite neat, and I'm super satisfied with the way it is joined, and it looks similar to the bottom. You see how we started and how it is on the bottom part and the upper part, both are same, and I like the join. So the most important part in this bag is how to do both the joins. Okay, the center part can be any design, we can make any number of designs, or you can do knitting or whatever, but only if you know how to join these two, the center part is going to be just very easy. So like I want to again tell you, though I have completed this bag, I am not very satisfied with the length of this bag. I think I made it a little too taller for this size. I'm thinking it's too long, and also I can see, the bag is dipping, and it's not the size is not, it's not straight, and I think I wanted to block it and then check and see whether it sets, but even after blocking it was like this. So what I think is my problem was, maybe I should have started with three only. I should have started with 3 single crochets in the beginning and continued, so that the center part of the bag will be a little bulging, and the bottom and the top part would be a little smaller, so it will the shape would have been very good. So you see, even the center part is like dipping here, and I think I will have to redo this bag, but nevertheless I'm happy with the lessons that I have learnt in this. I'm happy with how I joined it. So I'm stopping this tutorial here. Most probably I will be trying to redo this bag once again by taking out by removing these stitches and redoing it. So I'll update you when I do that. Thank you.